This is Portsmouth Catholic Regional School. I attended this school from the 2nd to the 7th grade. And after a 30-year teaching career and what was going to be retirement, I am back home, launching its first social emotional learning program. I made this video to document our journey and to celebrate all that we have accomplished together this year. If we are to educate, nurture, and grow future saints, we must focus on the whole child, mind, body, and spirit. We live in a beautiful world, but there is no doubt that our youth have inherited a very complex, challenging, and confusing planet. The need for social emotional learning in schools has never been greater. I am fortunate enough to work with colleagues who believe in social emotional learning, have put it to use in their classrooms, and melded it into their subject areas. And I must say, we are seeing the positive impact social emotional learning has had on our students in a plethora of ways. I would be remiss if I didn't mention and thank our principal, Donna Holler-Henry, for taking a leap of faith by convincing whomever she needed to convince that this was a risk worth taking. So, Miss Henry, we dedicate this documentary to you. Following a summer of planning and discussion, Ms. Henry and I decided to plan an activity for all stakeholders: faculty, staff, parents, students, siblings, and friends. In late summer 2025, faculty gathered for training week and families were invited to meet and greet. We established a rock garden at the school entrance with signage that reads, "Together we shine, one rock at a time." Everyone was invited to visit our library, where they got to meet with old and new friends while painting rocks that would greet all who enter our building. Kindness rocks at Portsmouth Catholic. While a focus on community has always been a part of our school, we felt that our new rock garden would be a visual reminder that we are a team of vibrant, creative, and inclusive people. All are welcome here. Social emotional learning didn't appear overnight. It developed over more than a century as educators, psychologists, and communities recognized that learning is not just academic, but deeply human. Progressive educators like John Dewey argued that schools should nurture social growth, moral reasoning, and emotional development, not just academics. Education was seen as preparation for life, citizenship, and relationships, not simply jobs or tests. And then the term social emotional learning was formally introduced. The Collaborative for Academic, Social, and Emotional Learning, known as CSEL, was founded, and they identified 5 core competencies: self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, relationship skills, and responsible decision-making. Social emotional learning is a structured, research-based approach, not a trend. Large-scale studies have shown that SEL improves academic achievement, behavior and discipline, mental health, school climate. COVID-19 highlighted the importance of emotional regulation, coping skills, connection, and resilience. SEL is now linked with trauma-informed practices, equity and inclusion, faith-based values in Catholic and Christian schools, and student mental health supports. Social emotional learning evolved because educators learned one powerful truth. Children cannot learn well unless they feel safe, understood, connected, and capable. Good. All right, what's your word? Confused. When was a time that you felt confused? Can you think of one, Anthony? When you felt confused? Okay, so when you feel confused with your homework, what do you do? Good. Man. Woo! Timber! This is your last one. All right, what does it say?
Sad.
Sad. When is the time that you felt sad?
Inside my head, I should've let the jagged edges meet the light instead. Show me what's underneath, I'll find your harmony. The song we couldn't write, this is what it sounds like.
about you, Riley Ann?
I like working alone.
You like working alone?
Yeah.
And why do you like working alone better?
It just feels like I have more control over what I can do.
Yeah, that's true. What about you, Charlotte?
I like doing both because I can spend time with my friends if I'm in a group with my friends, or if I'm alone, I could get it done faster. But if I'm with my friends, it's more fun to do it like that.
Right.
The SEL topic that helped me out the most is relationship skills, because it taught me that even with people that I don't really get along with, I can still bear to be in the same room with them without getting mad at them or causing any waves.
I feel more comfortable talking about my feelings since starting SEL because I feel like SEL has given me the tools that I need to really navigate through my feelings. Being a military child, there have been many emotions that I've had that I really haven't been able to express very clearly or understand. And so with SEL, I feel like it gives you the power to understand your emotions more clearly, where they're coming from, and how you can help them.
SEL has changed the way I interact with my peers because I've made more friends this year and I've learned more ways to talk to people and learn what they like and what they do.
I want to still work on relationship skills because sometimes I find myself ghosting people, but I never actually do it on purpose. It just happens. But yeah, that's all.
I think that SEL is an important part of our school's curriculum because it can help you to understand how other people work. It can sort of tell you where you're struggling in areas, like with empathy, for example, or it can show you where other people need help and you can help them out in those areas.
So social emotional learning has really been incorporated very well into our classroom. I see our students take what they've learned with Ms. O'Connor in their SEL time and play that out in our regular days. Each morning we start with a morning meeting where we talk about things that are going on in our school, in our classroom. We'll often talk about some examples of things that happen with peers and situations that might happen on the playground or elsewhere that we need help working out. And we'll reference some of the things that they have learned in their SEL time with Ms. O'Connor.
So I'm the media specialist here at Portsmouth Catholic Regional School, and my two major domains that I operate in on a daily basis would be the library and the technology lab. SEL, incorporating that into library is simple. For a lot of times we're reading as a group, they'll sit down and we'll do a read aloud. That's how we start our library time here at Portsmouth Catholic. And that's a great time to ask those driving questions about how characters are feeling during the story and having students reflect on the emotions that they may be feeling and justifying, are they rightfully so? How can they handle it? How does that impact the decision? In the technology lab, we do have a little calm down corner, which is available to students. We spend a lot of time mitigating or trying to get them to understand how they're feeling. In middle school, we do a lot of collaborative, cooperative learning. So we have a lot of classes like STEM that forces you to work in a group. And those are really important skills to have as far as empathy and understanding how emotions affect not only you, but your partner.
Overall, I think SEL has had a tremendous impact on our students and our school as a whole. I think that it's changed the feel of my classroom. Definitely, I think it's made a more calm and a more positive environment for all of the students.
Hi, I am Bridget Pinelli, and I am currently the assistant principal here at Portsmouth Catholic Regional School. That's what I love most about SEL, is that it's not necessarily putting in any extra effort into what we're already doing. It's more of just small tweaks. And a lot of kids we have seen have testing anxiety. They're bringing things in from home that's weighing on them. So doing a game or some kind of fun song before a test can really alleviate a lot of that stress and anxiety to kind of get them mentally ready for those kinds of tests. Kind of shifting our discipline practices and policies was something I was most excited to kind of get into here. When I spoke to Ms. Henry about what programs they already had here, and she had said we were going to start SEL here. That was one of the goals she had. She said, "You'll love Ms. O'Connor, she's fantastic." And because of my background with SEL for those couple of years at my previous school, I was so excited to kind of jump on board with that. The needs of the children has shifted tremendously, that we need to shift our thinking. Not saying that we shouldn't hold students accountable, but working them through that process. Unfortunately, a lot of students just don't have that at home anymore. Everybody's busy. They're running to the next activity, the next after school thing that's going on. Weekends are swamped, parents are working. So a lot of those social skills and cues students aren't getting any more at home. They're not having those family dinners and those conversations. So we're having to implement that here a little bit more at school. To change their framework and mindset that really it's a lot of things they're already doing. It's just being more intentional with it.
Hello, everybody. Mrs. O'Connor, Portsmouth Catholic, thank you for dedicating this documentary of our SEL journey to me. But it is really an SEL celebration of us all and our efforts together. I've always believed that social and emotional learning holds a natural and powerful place within a Catholic school because it reflects the heart of our mission to form the whole person in the image of Christ and help one another realize the potential and the purpose that He has for each of us. When we teach students to understand themselves, manage their emotions, and build healthy relationships, we are guiding them to live out the gospel in everyday ways. In this way, at Portsmouth Catholic, SEL becomes more than just a framework. It becomes a lived experience of faith in action. Together, we are strong. Stay strong, Portsmouth Catholic.